Good morning, folks. It's been a little while since I've been on camera, and I thought this morning of Psalm chapter 37. I read it this morning and was very, very much encouraged by it. I would encourage you to read the same chapter. It's if you're lacking courage about the way this world is going, if you think that the enemies and those that hate righteousness and good are winning, read Psalm 37 and you'll see a different perspective. It says here that he says, "Fret not yourselves because of evildoers. Neither be envious against the workers of iniquity." The world today seems to be being won by the enemies of God. They're trying to change the way people think about our natural bodies, about our gender, about our roles as humans, about what we should be doing, what kind of food we should be eating. They just want to switch everything around, and they want to promote promiscuity. They want to promote sin and evil and wickedness, and they're doing it all around us, and the world seems to be prospering with it. The teachers, the professors, the people who make media and make entertainment, Hollywood, everybody seems to be winning with this evil ideology. And it's tempting sometimes to think, man, what's going on here? Can we even have any victory? Can we even do any good? He says, don't worry about it. Don't be envious of those who are prospering in that way. He says in verse 2, "For they soon shall be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb." Right now we're just getting into the season where everything's turning lush and green and the grass gets tall, and then we send our cows and our sheep in and it just gets mowed down. We send lawnmowers in and they chop down the weeds. That's what the end of the wicked will be like. He says, trust in the Lord and do good. In spite of all the evil, in spite of every bit of chaos going on around you, he just says, just trust in the Lord and do what's good, and you shall dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass, and he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. And so here's where I'm getting my encouragement from. Traditionally, I always believed that one day we would be taken up into heaven and we would live in heaven forever. I don't think that's what the Bible teaches. The Bible does seem to teach that we will be taken up into heaven, but there will be a great wedding feast there, and then Jesus will come back down on his white horse with his saints with him. If you read Revelation 19, he's going to come back with his saints. We will be clothed in white raiment. We are the righteous that come back down riding on horses also, and he will consume the enemies with the breath of his mouth. And we don't need to be angry here and now. We don't need to be full of wrath. We don't need to be trying to devise ways of getting back at people. We don't need to try to conquer the world. We should just trust in the Lord, rest in the Lord. And he said 3 times already, fret not, fret not, fret not. Don't worry. Don't be in a panic. God's not in a panic. God's not afraid. He's not worried about what might happen. He's got all things under wraps. He knows the end. And so he's waiting for that day. And there's passages here where it talks about, in this same passage, it talks about him breaking the arms of the ungodly. He's whetting his sword. He's preparing his instruments of wrath for the end times. And one day, he's going to take us up into heaven. He's going to have a great wedding feast with his son. The bride will be married to the groom. And then we're coming back down, and he's going to renew this earth. We're going to rule and reign with him for 1,000 years. Eventually, the whole earth will be renovated, so to speak, and there will be a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwells righteousness. And we don't need to worry about the here and now so much, because it says here in verse 10, "For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. And thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth." Right now it seems like the evil and the wicked in this world are trying to find ways to diminish and to punish the righteous doers. They want to take away any influence that the righteous have. And that's okay. Let them be. You know, we don't need to fight against them. We just continue to do good, continue to speak good, continue to love the Lord. It says here in verse 13, Psalm 37:13, the Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. Do you ever picture God that way? There's another passage in Psalm 2 when the kings of the earth are gathered together against the Lord and against his anointed. The Bible says that the Lord shall laugh at them, for he shall have them in derision. Here he says it again, Psalm 37:13, the Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. This should be our attitude. When we see the evil world trying to take over, well, I don't know what thing you might be worried about, the World Health Organization, the One World Order, the coming of a great, terrible government that might want to ruin what God has planned, whatever. Like, seriously, guys, you really think you great billionaires and you elite of this world can somehow destroy God's plans? Do you think you can somehow take over God's world? The Bible says that this earth is full of God's glory. And one day, there's going to be an earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, and we will rule and reign with him. Not because we've been better than them, we've been redeemed by Jesus. We've been purchased by him through the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. We belong to him. We are the righteous, and we ought to go forth into this wicked, evil world and do that which is good. Do that which is right. And we should walk in holiness, and we should not fret. We should not worry. We should not be in a panic. We are those that have been given a spirit of love and a sound mind. Not a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So I really hope that's encouraging. There's more in this passage. You keep reading Psalm 37 and you'll see the days are coming. The day of the evil prospering is coming to an end. We don't know when. We don't know exactly how. But we know that we shall rule and reign with Christ, and we will be ruling from Jerusalem. Jesus will be. He will rule and reign with his saints, and we will be rulers over cities and rulers over towns. And what that will look like, I can't even begin to imagine. But it's going to be glorious, and it's going to be well worth the wait. And there's nothing to worry about in this world right now, because we know that the Lord will have them. He's got them all in under his control. He will not be taken over, and we should not worry about being taken over.